Welcome back everyone, this is Gamer Trev here with my very first review in this channel. Let me explain how this review will work. I'll place the final verdict based on the amount of work went on visual, story, and gameplay. Also another note is that this review should not be taken as your final decision in the purchase of this game, but used as a reference for your purchase, as I may not like certain games or genre, but prefer some other game aspect. Finally, this is my review of the game and I'm no way sponsored or restricted in my opinion, so you are entitled in your own opinion as well. Now that we have an agreement, let's get started. Now that introduction out of the way, let's start with visuals. Hyperlight Drifter takes an 8-bit to a 16-bit art style which looks appealing to the eye and the way the world looks. As you see from gameplay of how the game looks, it's really breathtaking to the amount of work done in this game. You will be at time walking around the world and see remains of what used to be alive. This game consistently reminds the player of the dead race that may have ruled the game world and now in ruin. It is also used as the obstacle to hide areas that can be seen in the game, which makes area more interesting to explore. Music is another aspect of the game as your avatar explores the world and you are away from any form of civilization. For any player that played games like Metroid or Castlevania, this would bring memory of a time when player truly felt isolated from the other NPC and the music will constantly remind you. It is also the music that lets player react to enemy monsters that start engaging the player. It has also been said by the devs that music is another aspect of their story themes and emotion told by various NPC in certain areas and in the only city of the game. Story is one of the things that left me clueless by the end of the game, as most of the game had no other dialogue other than the in-game tutorial. What the game does have is an image-based storytelling, as the NPC will tell their story through an image and what the player should be expected to do. The issue is when I started, the game started with a 3 to 4 minute cutscene in the intro that refers to some flash of light and that's it. There was more, but when I started it did not give me any useful information toward who the avatar was. I didn't know the purpose of the player avatar going through this obstacle, and the only thing that made sense was to reach the big crystal at the end of the cutscene. Once you finish the in-game tutorial, the game will tell the player to acquire fragments of a crystal to advance through the dungeon the player is currently at. The game does not tell you where you should start at other than the 4th path to go, but only 3 paths are accessible to you: North, West, and East dungeon. The game gives you freedom to which dungeon you can go and finish. As stated before, the player is tasked with acquiring this crystal, as some of this crystal are hard to find or not accessible to you until you acquire a certain upgrade. Once you reach the boss dungeon and defeat him, you activate what looks like a tower, and when you return to the city, you'll see the same thing occurring in the city as well. Then, you do it again in the next dungeon until you reach the end. Even towards the end, I finished the game the same as I started, as there is no explanation of what I have accomplished. It was until I finished the game that I went online to fill in the missing link to what occurred throughout the game. But to avoid spoiling the story, I'll leave it to you whether you want to spoil it for yourself or play it yourself. Now, what will either make or break this game interest to most of you. The gameplay is very fast paced and will keep you on your toe, as many of the enemy the player will fight can kick your ass. If I started this game with a walkthrough, you will most likely see me dying a lot more than winning, as many of the AI react to players' movement. This is truer when going up against the dungeon boss, as they react more on the player movement when attacking. That is why this game has an NPC store, as they give the player a better chance of surviving. In order to acquire this upgrade, you will need to explore the dungeon and collect 4 nodes to create an upgrade chip. This upgrade can give players like increase in dash usage, a shield when you dash, increase in medkit or gun energy, grenades, and many more. Now for player movement for Xbox One user. You have your A button for dash, X for your attack, Y for your status and action button, left bumper to your for using your medkit, right for a grenade when you get the upgrade, and right trigger to fire the gun and left to aim. Another note to gameplay is using this ability to access new area that will lead you to the upgrades or the crystal. Shield when you dash, increase in medkit or gun energy, grenades, and many more. Now for player movement for Xbox One user. You have your A button for dash, X for your attack, Y for your status and action button, left bumper to your for using your medkit, right for a grenade when you get the upgrade, and right trigger to fire the gun and left to aim. Another note to gameplay is using this ability to access new area that will lead you to the upgrades or the crystal. As you can see, I went through the game with no expectation. I had no idea what the game had to offer and no insight other than the name. I believe the idea of using no dialogue, image based, and music being used as interpretation for a story is fine. But if they only added some dialogue at the beginning to who you are controlling and why he is searching this ruin, would have given the player enough insight of the game world. The game's telling is fine when you see what the beginning part means. It's just me playing too many games with already given stories that I started confused. I do not like the idea of giving a score, as I feel uncomfortable giving games a score now. Instead, I will follow the buy now, buy later, or don't buy at all. My recommendation is to buy now because this game is very fun and it took me about 7 hours to finish. Also, as a side note, this game does have a game plus with most of your ability unlocked, your hit bar at 2, and a black cape. So yeah, for those of you who wants to take that challenge, good luck.